So Netflix gets together with one of the main writers of the first two To All the Boys I Loved Before movies to give us another YA film adaptation based on a book of the same name by Sarah Dessen. And unfortunately, this is no To All the Boys I Loved Before. What's up everyone, it's Joshua, Future Filmmaker Reviews. I talk movies, TV, music, and anime, giving you guys my thoughts on Along for the Ride. After months of putting this off, I'm gonna finally talk about it because I do have some 2022 movie reviews I need to catch up on, and this is gonna be one of a couple of them. So let's get into my thoughts on this movie. Of course, it's a romantic drama from Netflix that came out back in April. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I was actually really looking forward to this because I am a fan of the romantic comedy genre. I think that genre, romance and comedy, is making a comeback some ways with stuff like Marry Me and To All the Boys I Loved Before and Moonshots. And so I was looking forward to this not only because it was a teen romance film, but also this was from the writer Sofia Alvarez, who wrote To All the Boys I Loved Before and To All the Boys P.S. I Still Love You. And this was taken on the Sarah Dessen's book of the same name. But I was still very curious because I liked the trailer and I liked the premise, I liked the story, and I thought the two leads had good chemistry. And what a disappointment this was, because not only this was very disappointing, this is kind of one of my least favorite movies of the entire year. Cowards! Now, it's not the worst. That is gonna go to After Ever Happy coming inevitably, but it's definitely not as bad as the 365 Days movies or any other bad movies like 50 Shades or After. It has to be said that for someone who loves young adult romance movies and who is a target audience for these type of movies, this was a big disappointment. So the story of this movie follows a girl named Auden, which the summer before college she meets the mysterious Eli, a fellow insomniac, when the seaside town of... The summer before college, Auden meets the mysterious Eli, a fellow insomniac. While the seaside town of Colby sleeps, the two embark on a nightly quest to help Auden experience the fun, carefree teen life she never knew she wanted before she leaves college. Simple premise for a movie that is only an hour and 46 minutes, right?
What the fuck happened? Hey!
So what went wrong? Nearly everything, but there are some pros to give to this movie. Getting into the positives of this movie, first off, I want to say the actors are very good. I think the two leads in this movie who are playing our two lead characters, Auden and Eli, Emma Pasarow and Belmont Cameli, I think they have very good chemistry. I buy them in their scenes where they're falling in love with each other. I think they have some very solid chemistry in a lot of the scenes of this movie. With him and his biker motorcycling situation, she and her carefree life she never thought she wanted, I thought those two blended pretty well. They have a nice spark to them. It's definitely no Lana Condor and Lola Centeno, but I think they have a very nice spark, a very nice, charming chemistry that does keep this movie afloat. The rest of the cast is cool. You got Kate Bosworth, Andie MacDowell, Dermot Mulroney, Laura Karaoke, Genevieve Hannelius from Dog with the Blog. It's great to see her in here. I think all the performances in this movie, for what the script is required of them, I think are fine. The direction, of course, by Sofia Alvarez. This is her first directed movie, and I gotta say, she does put some very good direction sparks, some very nice atmosphere, some very lighthearted charm into the movie, and it definitely does help for a movie like this, because with a movie like this that's in the romance genre, you expect a great love story and a great romance out of this, and I will say that she does excel exactly that part. The romance is sweet, it's very charming, and you do get a sense of why these two fall in love, and I think she does the best she can with honoring the novel, which is very mature heavy into more of a more sweeter, lighthearted tone. It does feel very watered down, which we'll get to. I'll say her direction is what keeps this movie afloat. Say there are some very good cinematography shots. It's a gorgeous looking movie. I think the technical aspects for our cinematography and the score are very chosenly, carefully well put together. Say there's a quite couple of moments here where there was potential for this. And like I said, it has a great cast. It had a good story. So, what went wrong when it comes to this movie? Unfortunately for me, what this movie goes wrong is not only the scripts, but also pacing and also mismarketing. Because what should have been easily a very charming and sweet romance film, this is another case of a movie that has the Hallmark Channel written all over it. And you all know that I am not a fan of the Hallmark Channel. I think they have a few good movies there, but I just think that channel is just a channel for girls that doesn't appeal to guys. There's nothing appealing there for guys. There's some guys out there who like that channel, but I'm sorry, I'm just not one of them. It doesn't have anything that appeals to me personally, except for a few movies here and there from them. And same thing can be said about the Lifetime channel, because Lifetime, I stopped caring about them a long time ago. Isn't the biggest problem with this movie. This movie has Hallmark written all over it, and I'm not a fan of that decision. I'm not a fan of that decision. For taking this very heavy subject matter here, say that because I heard from the book, the book is more mature enough and more intense and more dramatic. So that's not the problem with me. That's not a problem that I'm offended by. What bothers me here is that it feels very watered down, with some moments that should be very emotional, with as far as the main guy and one of his friends dies and he doesn't want to do BMXing anymore, or there's a certain thing going on with the main girl and her subplot, and I feel like they don't really take the time to go and hit the emotional gravitas as I feel like it should have. Now I get it, you can't be too overly dramatic and overly sentimental, but romantic dramas are meant to go that route. And this is a case like, if you're gonna go that route with some drama, go for it. It's just a PG-13 movie. Say the movie fails completely, almost nearly, to have the continuous spark of a traditional teen rom-com and subverts expectations. To all the boys I loved before, that trilogy worked because we just didn't know that it was going to be so good, and it was very subversive. And they do try to do some subversion here, but it doesn't really go for that type of subversion here. It just goes for the been there and done that. And we're way past this with romance movies. I know people say romance is a kind of a dying genre, but it's not a terrible genre. The performances are sweet. I think the chemistry is sweet, and I think the character development there, but all of it is kind of plagued by some decisions that are not very well thought out. And unfortunately for me, as I was watching the movie, it doesn't really come together in a very satisfying way. So it kind of takes me out of the movie, most of it, when it comes to some of the decisions made and some of the writing here. And the last negative, I'm just going to say this right now, this movie is boring. Now, there are some good moments here where I found myself not bored because of the chemistry and some of the performances, but there is a point in this movie where it gets a little bit dull, mostly, and the movie is an hour 46 minutes. It feels like a 2.5 hour long commercial for the Hallmark Channel. And again, not a fan of the Hallmark Channel, so I don't know why this decision was made to make it feel like that. I know romance movies, you can be serious, you can be more exotic, more romantic. Granted, you're not a toxic romance. I will give you that. That's easily gonna be a praise for a movie like this. Is that it's not toxic. So I can at least say that. But there are quite a couple moments watching this movie where I just found myself a bit bored watching this thing, and I was ready to kind of shut this movie off. So that easily, if it hadn't been for the performances and the atmosphere and I think the direction, this easily would be a few steps up my worst of 2022. Because Netflix and romance movies, they have done so much better. Even some of the stuff like The Summer I Turned Pretty, which I did not expect anything out of for an Amazon Prime miniseries, and I really like that. Unfortunately, this is just one of those cases where I felt increasingly bored by most of this movie's runtime. Now, before I give my final verdict, if you guys are new to the channel and you like what you see here, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell to get notified for more videos like this. All my social media links are description boxes down below to my Facebook, Twitter, Letterboxd, Snapchat, TikTok, and my new Instagram. Which my old Instagram did get hacked, so I had to create a new Instagram. It's still gonna be the same kind of content like YouTube promotion and such. But yeah, that's what happened, and that's why you see a little bit of a name change there. So the description to that will be in there down below. I also posted about that in my community tab. Also, my Amazon wish list is down there. If you like seeing anything from that wish list, or if you want some money to my Chime or my Cash App, that's there as well. Also, be sure to check out the 6 Geeks podcast channel. There will be more videos and more episodes coming on there pretty soon. No, guys, Along for the Ride, as much as it hurts me to say it, is kind of one of my least favorite films of 2022. This is a movie that it had great promise. It should have been a charming and sweet and endearing Netflix romance movie like To All the Boys I Loved Before. But unfortunately, this movie is just pretty boring to get through. Not very strong as writing. Some pretty moments of dramatic potential, but all of that is just bogged down by the pacing and some of the writing. There are some good things in here, but if you are a fan of Netflix and you're a fan of romance movies, go to the romance genre in the Netflix section or find something at the local $5 store. I'm sure you will come across something way better than that. Well, that's gonna do it for this video. If you guys like what you see here, be sure to subscribe to my channel right here. I have plenty more content as far as movies, TV, and anime and music goes. I will also leave a playlist here and something here if you guys want to check out what I'm about. Join the Epictasticness, stay epitastic, and you guys keep it cool.